Hello, everyone. Kati is in an airplane, and I'll be doubling for him, for her. You can see the YouTube video or the webinar link below there in the chat box. It's Kati and Rita Freudenberg talking about the competences needed by the teachers to implement the new innovative technologies. You can watch it. It takes somewhat 26 minutes, so we could continue talking about it in half an hour. See you then again.
So let's start. Hello everybody. My name is Kati Clements, and as you know, I'm the coordinator of LEA Project, LearnTech Accelerator. And today I am talking with Rita Freudenberg. How do you say your name?
Rita Freudenberg.
Yeah. Can you explain a little bit? Where do you come from, firstly, and what is your involvement with the LEA project, and possibly also with the project iMail that was happening before LEA?
Yes, we were also part in the iMail project. I say we because we are a working group at the University in Magdeburg, and we are computer scientists working in the field of education, educating mostly teachers who want to become computer science teachers. So that's our role in the email project, was to consult and help with the educational context of the prepared personal learning environment, and also to support the test and reference groups in Germany, and to prepare the test of the prototypes that have been developed in the iMail project. So we had the opportunity to start thinking about the prerequisites, about the requests for such a personal learning environment, test the first prototypes, and now we can go and try to bring this even further and to figure out, okay, what is still preventing the use of these kinds of systems. And in the LEA project, we are work package leader of the work package number 3, the Demand Policies Accelerator. And in this work package, we are working on trying to figure out what are the actual needs right now when using these kind of learning systems, because it's been some years since the iMail project, so things might have changed. And also, what are the barriers? What are the things that hinder the use of these learning systems in the school, in the classroom? And also, what kind of competencies do the teachers need and the students need to use these systems?
And we are now about 8 or 9 months into the LEA project, and as you know, based on this needs analysis, we are going to prepare a new PPI call on the personalized learning environment. So the idea is, in your work package, of course, is to try to understand the real needs from the school. Can you explain a little on the kind of like methods that we are using in LEA in order to get the opinion or the voice from the schools?
Yeah, what we did was to have to develop a questionnaire to distribute in all the participating countries in the LEA project, especially in the poorer countries, and to ask the teachers and all the students about certain needs and how they self-assess their own competence in using these kind of systems. So we started at the kickoff meeting with asking all the participants with a special method about their input, what kind of things they think should be asked. And we did some desktop research about barriers and incompetences teachers need for IT use in the classroom. And based on that, we prepared the questionnaire, we tested the questionnaire, and then we had an English version of it, which then has been translated by all participating partners. So we had the questionnaire with itemized questions. So we didn't need to translate the answers again. So students and teachers could tick their answers, and then it makes it relatively easy to compare the answers we get. So the quantitative questionnaire is a method we used, and accompanied by desktop research and by this discussion with all the partners. And then we came up with a questionnaire.
And today we are discussing exactly this, so the results of this questionnaire. But that was not all that we did in LEA, and even though it's not the topic today, but we had also a qualitative and a hands-on part. Can you mention that? We call it the LEA School Labs activity, and it was also done in your work package. So what was the follow-up activity that we were doing this autumn?
Yeah, the other activity was that we wanted the students to do something using technology in the classroom. So it is always hard to ask students about things they are not actually using. So we wanted to give them some examples to see what can be done with the computer, and then ask the questions while they were using it. So not just presenting a questionnaire and fill it out on the computer, but involved with a group discussion, with some group work where they had to watch videos to discuss some questions, and doing all this with one class in the classroom with the teacher there, and with a guided activity for the students.
Yeah, I think we can have another webinar with Markku Lang, who has been responsible for this activity, and he can explain the results from that one then. But let's go into the questionnaire results right now. So what are the typical barriers for the teachers at the moment in 2018 for using these technologies? You can also answer for the teachers as well as for the students.
Yeah, the typical barriers for teachers are still hardware problems. So this is what our questionnaire showed, that problems with hardware and problems with the internet, so all of the internet connection, were the most listed problems in all countries. Then some countries also mentioned that they have software problems, and I think that is some first point where we can go in with our project, because if it is the usability of the system which is hindering the use, this is something really that could be done by formulating some requests how a software should be used. And then there are some teachers, they see the increased effort in the preparation of lessons can also be a reason to not use the software. And also, this can be helped with the design of the software. So to make it easier to support teachers better when they prepare their lessons. Also, from some questions, we can deduct that we can say the lack of IT support in schools is a problem. It's a typical barrier. They will not use a system if you don't have someone who can help you if anything is happening. And interesting, they said that there are not enough opportunities for exchange with other teachers. And I think this is also a good angle to include in the LEA project, that we can say we need a system which supports the exchange between the teachers better. So
That's a good point, actually. And if you have like 3 maths teachers, for example, in the same school, how much are they collaborating? How much are they sharing with each other, and so on? Or what about within the same municipality, if there is the similar things and so on? So I think that these can be an issue that possibly the software could take care of some of these issues. But something that I was earlier this week, I was recording another webinar with one of our suppliers from LEA Project, and what they said was that actually since LEA they have changed the way that they are working, because they realized that the teachers need more help, so that that their service is actually, it's not just the software, but on top of that you get a person who comes in and prepares the material for the teacher, and the teacher just communicates with them so that they get ready-made materials, because the teacher doesn't have the time there, and there has to be some adjustments and so on, and there has to be these evaluation methods put into place and so on, and maybe the teacher doesn't have the competencies to do that or the time to do that. So actually I think that what we are looking for is not only the technology, but the service around that, and we should go further from this kind of like thinking of products rather than thinking of asking for a service offer. And I think that this was something that was happening in IMail, which we can now learn for the LEA PPI, that we can ask for a service rather than, and maybe to focus on the fact that there would be more support for the teachers in this. So this is an interesting finding to me, at least. Okay.
And also that almost all teachers would like to attend special events for information and training, but only half of them already have it. So, and this could, of course, also be offered by the suppliers, by the people who are offering. So the service could include or should include these kind of events for the teachers.
What do you think that of this kind of model that we have been discussing in within the consortium a little bit, that if let's say that in the phase where the teachers are just learning how to use the software, let's say the first half a year or so, or a couple of months, the teacher would have every Friday off teaching, basically, and every Friday they would sit and make these lessons ready for the next week, and they would also give feedback to the developers on how to improve the software, because I think the dialogue between the end user and the developer is like the main problem of why the software projects always fail. So the dialogue is bad. So what do you think about this kind of method? Would it work in Germany?
I think it would, if the circumstance would allow it. Of course, from the teacher's point of view, it would work. So we have this teacher's course right now, and I know that many of them are really very interested to use new software in schools. But yeah, it's always a problem with the time. And we had this one lesson where we started creating things, and I could see that the teachers really have ideas, and it's really one, as you said, the lack of time, and then also if they have some problems, then you can talk directly to the suppliers and say, okay, we would like to do this, or this would be important for us, and get direct feedback, and not just say and nothing would happen. So if that would be a dialogue, a real dialogue.
Yes. I think it is important that the supplier would go to the school to help the teacher to make these materials, rather than that the teacher goes to the supplier, because then then you are in the real context. This is, I think, that would be a kind of success method for based on our experiences. It is very interesting. What do you think about the barriers from the point of view of the students? Is it any different?
Not really. The interesting thing is that the self-assessment of the students is quite positive. While the teachers would list that they think the number one problem for the students would be the lack of skills of the students. But if the students assess themselves, they say they are confident, then they are at least good in all competences in using computers.
That is interesting. Who do you think is wrong?
Yeah, maybe it depends what a student think he should do when he is editing text and what a teacher thinks the student should do when they are editing texts. So I think it is, the students are not afraid. So that's definitely not a barrier for them, that they would not, that they would not do it. They would not dare. So, but I think they are, they are not as good as they think they are, because they don't know what kind of expectations the teachers have of them.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I do think that the millennials or the kids nowadays, they are much more, competent in using softwares than the teachers, and the teachers would actually could learn from the students, and that is a kind of it's a kind of odd paradox at the moment in the education field, when you are learning, when you are dealing with technologies, that actually that your students can be more competent in some of the issues than you are. So it means that there has to be a different kind of attitude while teaching something. I think for the teachers, maybe this would be a difficult.
Yeah, that's maybe the other way around. Maybe the teachers, it's a barrier for the teachers to use IT because they are afraid that students would know more than they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so based on the questionnaire, you were saying that there was a lot of hardware problems. So was there any country differences on this?
At least not when what the teachers list themselves as barriers. That's really the same in all countries. That all in all, the teachers say that the hardware problems are biggest. We didn't emphasize too much on the hardware infrastructure because we have another report coming up which is exactly about that, and we would like to put all the more concrete information about technical infrastructure in the other report.
Okay.
What we could see as big differences between the participating countries would be that there is a lot of training events already available in Spain.
Okay.
Really, almost 90%. So that's quite a huge number. And in other countries there are very few to maybe not even 20%. So there is a huge difference between this kind of support for teachers between the countries. And of course, if the teachers say for them it would be helpful, it would be something they need, they would like to have to use IT in schools, and if we see they don't have it, that's of course also a barrier for them.
Yeah, and I have to mention that we have got over 1,200 answers, right? Or so at the moment.
About 1,000, yeah.
And this can be something between 80 to 200 answers per country, or so.
Mm-hmm.
So it is actually, this is a scientifically meaningful results when you're looking at the population of Europe. So that's a good accomplishment. Well done. I wanted to ask if there was any indication about the parents' involvement in your questionnaire?
We asked the students how they use IT at home to see if there's any correlation between maybe they use it more often and they are at ease. And yes, that's the same in all countries. We are talking about digital natives right now. They use it at home, and the teachers also say that it is for them. It would be a barrier if there is not enough communication between parents and schools. So this is, I think, so we didn't ask the students directly, what do you think is a barrier for you? Because that's not a question you can ask children.
They don't know how to evaluate that.
Yeah. We asked the teachers what they think, what the barriers for students are, and the teachers also said that if the parents don't have enough information about the use of learning software, this is also a barrier for students. Of course, also a formal barrier. You almost have to have the agreement of the parents so that you are allowed to use it, some kind of systems in the school. And
do you think the current systems have some sort of communication methods for the parents to get involved with the schools and the...
Not enough, I think.
Yeah, so they don't really know not enough on what has been going on. So this is something to develop, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We've gone 20 minutes, even though it seems like we haven't been talking that long. But I'm gonna ask one more question, which is that what do you think what did the teachers say about the most important competencies that
it were really the most important were the doing research on the internet, so being able to work with all the information you find on the internet. And I think that is really an important competence. It's not just something you can just do, but it's something you really have to know how to do. And this is what they listed as one of the most important competences they need. And also working with the basic text editing or writing tools.
Yeah, I'm thinking that it is still very much the basic skills that the teachers are seeing as when they are working online, that they think that okay, if they know how to use the Microsoft Word then that's about it, so they, or PowerPoint, and then that's it. If they know those, they are like advanced teachers. But I think that this is the 90s world in somehow, and we have moved on to the world of communication and social networks and gamification, and there is so much possibilities out there, and I think that it is a shame that the current systems in the field, they are very much still kind of like old-fashioned and traditional. So I do think that it is important that we do this job of innovation, but even though maybe the kind of innovative software, they can be a big step for the education field, but not necessarily if you are looking at like what technology is out there. They are not maybe the most mind-breaking technologies. The kind of like innovation that could help the teacher could be a very small step of like, let's say that you are evaluating one student and it takes you 7 clicks to get there, and then the innovation is that the company does it with 2 clicks, and suddenly you've saved so much time. I mean, seriously, I know that this is technologically probably very easy to do, and then but it could help the teacher so much in their time. Yeah. Was there anything else that kind of popped up that you wanted to mention from the questionnaire that should definitely be, I don't know, considered when writing the LEA PPI proposals?
As I said in the beginning, what I think really is important is that we get a useful system which the teacher themselves do not see a barrier because it's too complicated, but which really gives them the opportunity to exchange between other teachers, and so not a broad system, but a system which is doing the things really good. It does.
The exchange between other teachers is something that I think is new in comparison to what we were doing in iMail. So this is an interesting thing that it has risen up as something. So that's good. We have come up with a new finding that we didn't know that we need. So it was worth doing all the work, even though maybe not so easy.
Some things are really like we expected, or some things are like they were maybe 5 years ago. So no teacher really thinks that programming is important or doing websites is important, but they still think editing and writing is important.
Yeah.
But that's the teacher's point of view. We always really have to think that who is the group we have asked, and we did ask the teachers in the schools, and that's what they think based on what they are doing right now. So, and that's not necessarily innovation.
No, but that I think that this is important, and it is important to bring in and to say that, okay, I understand that if you are maybe if you are a decision maker and you are sitting on top of the money, you think that you want something, to the sky, you want something like you want to fly to the moon, and you want to get the Google glasses, or you want to get something that is looking like you get this wow effect. But the teachers, all they want is their everyday life to get better, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much. This has been very interesting discussion today. I think that we're going to continue with Markku in the next episode on this topic and so on, and we'll see what comes out for LEA.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that everybody had time to watch the video. If you have any questions or thoughts about it, you can post them into the chat box. That's great to hear, Marta. All right. Any else thoughts or questions about it? Thank you, Anna. Okay. If there's no questions, then we can conclude the webinar here. I wish you the best time for the rest of the week. Thank you. See you next time. Bye-bye.